Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. My name's Wendy Gathercole. I'm your host. How are you this week? Did you listen to last week's episode on reviews? Reviews, what's it got to do with Beyond Chronic Disease? Well, anything that impacts your mental state or puts you into a state of bleh is very relevant here on Beyond Chronic Disease. So this week, I'm going to explain to you that if you have been putting your trust in others for a lot of your life, then you will take a little while to start trusting you again. And the simplest thing to do is trust those tiny little moments that I'm not going to say pop into your head because they're not thoughts. Intuition is not thoughts. Okay, you might think it is, but it's not. Examples. The other night I was coming home and all of a sudden this little voice, I'm going to call it a voice, it said, you need to check this on the car. Like, I was just driving home, not thinking about anything. I was thinking about getting home. And I'm thinking, and then I thought to myself, oh, no, that'll be fine. Within minutes, 2 minutes, even a minute, I had somebody pull up beside me and point and made me pull over and checked it. And that little intuitive voice, that little voice, what they said was spot on. Okay. This happens to me all the time. So I trust in it more and more all the time. And this is a really easy thing to do for you to start trusting in yourself more and more all the time. Because let's face it, if you've been looking at reviews and, wanting to put something on Facebook or anything like that, start a new business, start a podcast, do anything like that, and you've told people, which is a big mistake, and they've said, oh, God, what are you going to do that for? Oh, no, don't do that. That's embarrassing. And blah, blah, blah. And you don't do it. How does it make you feel? And I know that there's people out there. I know that there's lots of people out there that you're listening to this and you've wanted to do something and you've told somebody, okay, not what the cinemas say. Don't tell anyone. You don't tell anybody. And then you get that negative feedback, a review, and you don't do anything about it. And you feel like crap. You go, oh, that's really something I want to do. And then you just, and then, maybe weeks down the track, years, whatever, it sort of comes back to you. So you try it again. And then you tell people again, and then they go bleh again, and then you feel like crap again. So takes you years. If you've been listening to other people, it will take you a long time to start trusting yourself. So do little bits. Another classic example, years ago, I mean, even to this day, this happens, but years ago, I had a shopping list. I don't have a shopping list anymore, much. Years ago, I used to have a shopping list. I would only buy what's on the list. And I'd be walking through the supermarket and a little voice would say, you need milk or you need butter, something like that, right? It's not on the list, but no, it's not on the list. I'm not buying it. Get home, lo and behold, I've needed it. Now I didn't trust myself back then, and this happened a few times. So then after that, as soon as something like that happened, this little voice said that I needed something, I'd just buy it. And I did, I needed it. Like even now, this is the simple things that you can do to start gaining that trust back within yourself. And one thing is not to read reviews. Okay. Look, I don't know. Read what's relevant if you must, because I know there's lots of you out there going, but if I want to buy something, I need to have read read the review so I can see if it's any good. Well, see, I sort of get that, but I don't do that. Okay. I trust myself. I look at something, and if it fits the dimensions of whatever I want to buy, or the spot that I'm putting in it, or, it's my shoe size or whatever it may be. And if I get it and it's not exactly up to scratch, well, that's so be it. Often it's not the case, but so be it. And then you're going, oh, but I don't want to waste my money. Well, how can you trust yourself if you read everyone else's opinions and you don't end up doing it? You're never going to be able to do anything, so it's not relevant. The money's not relevant. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust what you're doing is right for you. And the easiest way to do that, like I've explained, is just start listening to those little whispers, because they're not thoughts. Okay, you'll be driving along like I was the other day, or walking through the supermarket, which is a constant for me. Even to this day, I'll go in there and strawberries will pop into my head or something like that. And yeah, I'll just buy them. And yeah, I'll get home and I haven't got them and I just forgot to check. Anything like that whatsoever. It happens all the time. So you start listening to that tiny little voice. When you wake up in the morning, it might say, water, drink some water. You just ignore it. You don't drink the water. You have a coffee or whatever else you may have. And then all of a sudden you feel really weird, or, you're very dehydrated. You feel a bit sick. So if you had have had that water beforehand, then possibly that wouldn't have happened. You start listening to those little voices. I once heard, this was told to me by somebody I know. They had an epiphany in the shower, an epiphany. So it just came to them, a voice or an epiphany. It could have been a fleeting thought, but it's not a thinking about something for a long period of time, wondering whether it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. This is just something that really quickly, swiftly comes, right? They had this epiphany to do something. So they followed it. And for their benefit, it was amazing, right? So this, that can happen too. You could be having a shower and something will come to you really quickly, but it's not, like I said, it's not a thinking moment. It's not thinking about how you're going to do this and should I do it this way, or is that going to work? That's not intuition. Okay, that's just your brain scrambling you. All right, so intuition, intuitive thoughts, trusting yourself is those fleeting moments, and I know that you've all had them. I know that you've, even for this podcast, I was working on something else, and very early in the morning, like just before I opened my eyes, it was like, this should be a podcast. Straight away, within 4 days, it was up and running, thanks to my wonderful son who helped me with the techno stuff. It was just that fleeting moment, and I acted on it. Okay, that's the thing. You have to act on it for it to come to fruition, or it won't. And then it will be lost in the abyss, like most other stuff that we choose to ignore. Okay, so trust in yourself. Last week was all about the reviews and so forth, but gaining that trust back in you is as simple as following that little voice that just comes to you really fleetingly at the wildest moments ever. Okay, and start with in the supermarket, if you may well be in there, and a little moment will say, hey, you need this, or, you know, check out that aisle. See what comes. And that, my friends, is how you start trusting in you first. The little steps to take is your intuition is telling you, for your better interests, mind you, not like your thoughts. Your thoughts always trip you up, but your intuition is your little voice that knows you, that's basically inside you, that is wanting you to do what is right for you, okay, without listening to anybody else. And number one thing, which I've learned over time, don't listen to all those people that tell you that, oh, if you want to get something done, you should tell everybody about it and then that'll make you do it. No, because like I said before, when you start telling people about what you want to do, they'll all go, negative Nancy stuff. And will you do it? No, you won't. So keep it to yourself and just go and do it. And don't be an AOL about anything. I'm not promoting that one iota. Talking about for the benefit of you and others, the benefits. So trust that little whisper. Your intuition is trying to set you up for life. So let me know how it goes. I'll be really keen to hear your little stories where you trusted yourself and your little intuitive thoughts and how they came about. It would be awesome to hear. So I'll see you next week with an episode on some health stuff, which came to light this week. So I'll see you next week. Until then, bye for now.